Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that really is equal parts funny and equal parts frustrating. And if you deal with a narcissist and you still have to see them in any way, shape, or form, I think you'll know just what I'm talking about. When you really think about it, the narcissist's entire goal, purpose, desire is to fool all of the world and to fool themselves at the same time. There's a lot of things that got me thinking this way, but it's man, it's so true. So when you watch the way that they behave, we know that they wear the mask. Some people will say that they don't wear a mask; they just are the mask. Um, that gets into a whole other debate. I don't believe that, and the reason I don't is because they can remove it at will. They can put it on and take it off whenever they want. So that is, by definition, wearing a mask. That is masquerading. Well, we know that Satan, the devil, masquerades as an angel of light. That is how he is his most effective. That's how he has always operated. It's way more effective to pretend to be one of the good guys and to fit in with the good guys and to subtly, craftily convince people that your agenda is a good agenda and that you are a good person. That is how you have the most evil impact in this world. And the devil knows that, and does the narcissist, his henchmen, his little foot soldiers, his reprobate, human, empty, hologram foot soldiers. These guys will go to any length and to any extent to trick and fool everybody around them and themselves. Do you realize that almost every single thing that they do every day is to convince the world that they are something that they're not? They would go, like I said, to the greatest lengths imaginable to do this to people. Say that you were in a relationship with the narcissist. I will be willing to bet you that whether you ended it or they ended it, they went on instantly after that, immediately had somebody else in their lives. And that's because they had somebody in their lives prior to that behind your back, because they always do. They're chronic cheaters. I've covered that just a few videos ago. But they went right on, and I guarantee you, 99.9% of the time, drop comments below if you experienced this. They went right on and had you and the world and themselves convinced that they were so much happier and so much better off now that they were onto their new relationship. Did they not? I remember this so vividly. I was told, just as an example, so you guys can understand, not dwelling on this, but so you can know the kind of things they do. I was told that I'm so much better off. I'm so much happier. I think I carry myself so much better than I ever did when I was with you. I feel so much more free. Uh, we brought out the worst in each other. They say these things to convince you and to convince themselves that they are doing so much better now. They will then go off into whatever situation that they're in. You see, you know these people behind closed doors. You know the vitriol, the nastiness, the evil, and that they're going to take that same game and that same evil hologram self on to someone else, and they're going to pretend to you that they are now a completely different person. They're so happy. Life is so la 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 la. Life is good. Life's just wonderful. That is their entire game. You get to watch the way that they do this with everybody who they know. So say you're in that same relationship, it ended, they probably abused you to oblivion and you left, or they went on to somebody else as a um, temporary discard. They're ready to go back if you would take them. But they then turn their sights on making sure everything in their life looked like it was in order. They are happy every day. They're smiling. They're dressing a little nicer. They're looking a little better. Every day it's ear to ear grin. To those that are not part of the relationship, for those on the outside, the whole purpose basically after the breakup, from then on out, they are dead set on showing you and everybody else with every second, with every fiber of their being, with everything they have. They muster all of it so that you were the problem. It's laughs and jokes and daisies and rainbows with everybody they know. See how much better I'm doing now? I'm so much better off now. It was him. It was him. It was her. They're the problem. Every effort is put that way. They will jump right into a relationship. They'll do the most insane, idiotic things just to get one over on you and to make you think that they're doing it right. Guys, don't underestimate their power, their drive, their determination, especially if you were an amazing person in their lives. If you were that top notch, um, one, two, a couple, I don't know, I didn't want to say three, one, two kind of person in their whole lives that really was dedicated, loyal to a fault, so faithful, good, kind, loving, spiritually rooted, whatever else you brought in physically. If you were that, especially, they will do everything under the sun to make you think now that their life is wonderful. I'm talking about they will go off into a new relationship. They'll hop right in and they'll hop right into bed with someone else and they'll get pregnant or they'll immediately get engaged or they'll immediately get married or they'll immediately move in together or some combination of all those things. Just boom, just poof overnight. And then they will be and they'll post pictures of themselves at dinners and usually just far enough away from the person where they can ultimately crop them out later on. They're not going to get too close. Go and try to find pictures of narcissists that are like this with the person they're with. You're not going to find very many. If you do, it's going to be only from that initial little love bomb stage. And then the rest of them, the pictures are going to be distanced enough where they can crop the person out later on. And that'll be their next dating profile, next profile picture, whatever. You'll see it on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But they do those things. I just got really off on a tangent there. Sorry, but those are the things that they'll do to convince you that now they're happy. They will live together with somebody who they can't stand to make you think that they're now happy and that this person's better than you. They want you to think that the person they're with now is wealthier, is more handsome or attractive, has more money, has a better job, is more faithful, devoted, loyal, kind, considerate. They'll do anything to make you think that the person they're with now is better. And I got news for you, they're not. Oh, almost never are they actually better. But even if they were better, the narcissist wouldn't care. Point is, their mission from that point on is to make you think that they're doing it right, they got it right, life is good. You were the issue. See, it was him. To the point where, like I said, marriage, kids, they'll hang on to that next relationship, especially if you were that kind of great person I mentioned. Even if you're not, they'll do their things, but they will hang on to that for dear life. Like a bull rider hanging on that bull in the rodeo. They're going to hang on to that thing for dear life. The longer they can stretch that relationship out and give the appearance that now it's working. So do you see it's working? I got into another relationship like that after you, and now I'm good. It was you, and it was every ex. It was John and Jake and Bill and Jason and Eric and da 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 da. It was all of those people and you, not me. See, I'm good. I'm in a relationship now. It's been a year, and we've got a kid now, and it's working. And their life's mission is to show you that. Do not ever, and I mean ever underestimate, guys, how far they'll go to convince you of this. And I do believe I'm talking to some people here because we really think. I cover this a lot because I know it's one of the biggest things that we think after the relationship, even years after, some of us still believe this, that they really actually got their act together. And then we have self-doubt creep in. How can they go on to this next situation, whether that's a person or if it's a friendship, it's some new community, it's a new job, whatever. How can they have gone onto this situation and it's stuck? It seems like it's working. There's no, that does not compute with me. I want to be very clear about something, particularly in a romantic relationship. If they went on and they're with the next person for a year, two, three, however long it is, there is only one reason why that is still going on. From the new supplies position, the only way that's working is that that new person, however long, has just been bludgeoned and just obliterated with abuse. The longer you stay with a narcissist, the longer someone is with a narcissist, it proves only one thing about that relationship. Okay, hear this, please hear this. It just means the person that they're with has no boundaries, has no barriers, has no self esteem, is insecure, is willing to just take an unbelievable amount of abuse. Some of us were that person for a period of time. I know some of you watching this probably thinking I was there for 5, 10, 15 longer years. And you know as well as I do, as long as we were in that relationship, it meant we didn't have boundaries and we were accepting just being a punching bag. Is true, is it not? Because the narcissist cannot and will not stay with a person who has healthy boundaries. That does not make us bad people. Like I've said 1,000 times, if you had been in a relationship with the rare gem of a person that I just talk about regularly, that is rare, it's so exceedingly rare anymore. But if you found a good person, a truly genuinely wonderful person to spend your life with, it would have worked amazingly well. Even if it was just a decent person, it would have been an okay relationship. Maybe it wouldn't have gone all the way and not, ended in marriage and love but it still would have been okay and you probably would have parted ways amicably, somewhat. You didn't. You found a horrible, disgusting wretch of a person called a narcissist. So it's not your fault. It's not my fault that we got in that situation. My point is, the longer it lasts, if you're looking at your ex, okay, and you're thinking, my ex narcissist was is now been in this relationship with the new person for 2 years. It's been 3 years. Brian, does that not mean that the narcissist changed and that now they're a different person and they're treating this person well and they've got their life figured out? Isn't that what that means? No, that's not what that means. Guys, it's not what it means at all. It means the person that they're with has far fewer boundaries, has less security in themselves. They're more insecure, has less um, self confidence, doesn't think they can do any better, and are putting up with insane abuse. That is all it means. Case closed. End of discussion. And one of the things they do, to get back to the main purpose of this, and this is why we feel this way, is because the narcissist afterwards is going to do everything imaginable to make you think that is what happened. Guys, we struggle so much with this because we just can't imagine, how does it working? How does it seem like it's working? They really seem to be genuinely happy. Yes, because that's exactly what they aim to pretend. That's exactly their whole purpose in all of this, is to make you and those around you believe they are good, they are wonderful, you were the problem. And like I said, they'll stop at nothing. They'll stay with people they can't stand. They'll stay in abusive relationships themselves. They'll stay in entanglements where they're just miserable. And their driving force will be thinking back on the person, I can't leave because then everybody knows that's another failed relationship for me. If this relationship blows up, then my ex is going to know, yeah, it was me. It validates. See, it didn't work all over again. That pride, that tremendous pride in them, guys, what some call the Leviathan spirit, But it's just the pride, it's the devil's pride that will cause them to stop at nothing to convince you and themselves that they are the good ones. That's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Do you realize the narcissist isn't just out to prove that to others? They are on a constant mission day by day to prove to themselves and to gaslight themselves. I would say it's the demons in control of them that are gaslighting the narcissist, constantly scrubbing their brain and mind of things and saying, "See, it's not you, it's not you. I know you abused this person to death, and you know you abused this person. You know you're always the cause for why relationships end, but actually, no, it's not you. It's not you, it's them. See, she did this and that caused you to break up. See, she was like that. He did this. It wasn't really you." The narcissist forms that idea to combat what is called the bad object I've talked about before. They run from their history. They run from their past. They scrub. They delete. They change history every day as they go to make themselves feel and look like the good guy. I can't go into the details. I wish I could, given my situation, because it would explain things so much clearer. But I have gotten to see so up close and personal, post relationship with a narcissist, how far they will go to make everyone think that they have their life in order and to convince you. I'm telling you, despite the person they were with, especially if you were that wonderful person, that rare person, they will get themselves in every kind of evil, nasty entanglement they can as fast as they can, just to spite you. Like I said, if you're after that relationship, if you were that one, they will run off and jump into bed and jump into a marriage and jump into everything as fast as humanly possible and just entangle that new person to the point where they're stuck. If for no other reason than to make you think that things are working for them. I'm telling you, imagine the pride, the hubris, the foolishness of saying, now that I abused this person and they finally had to leave and they finally got out of my life and cut me off, my response is going to be, my life's mission now is going to prove to them and to myself that I was the good one and they were the problem. Let me run off and get pregnant or or get someone pregnant and let me get engaged and let me get moved in and engaged, like I said, and maybe even married. Let me do all of this as fast as I can just because I want to convince myself and the other person that they were the problem. Yes. Yes, they'll do this. They'll do this. I'm telling you. The narcissist's entire mission in life, yes, they're on assignment to destroy people. That's their spiritual demonic assignment. But in their warped, twisted worldview and mind, their whole life's mission is about convincing the world they're good. Every day, rewriting history, changing facts, changing things, doing every foolish and insane thing you can do under the sun, staying in relationships far longer than they would ever want to do because they can't admit that they were wrong. Because if that next relationship blows up because of them, and it always does eventually, then they'd have to accept, at least for a second, and more importantly, let you and everyone else around them know they did it again. Okay. So the narcissist said this entire time it was Brian, or it was Jan, or Kelly, or Kirsten, or they said it was them. But you know what? They went off and that next relationship, it blew up too. And people start to catch on. They don't want people to catch on. If people catch on to who they are, they're finished. That's why they have to relocate, change relationships, jobs, move. This is why they have to do it so regularly throughout their lives. Because inevitably people will figure out who they are, but their life's mission is to prevent people from figuring out who they are. So the takeaway from this, among other things, hope you got a lot of takeaways, is this. Never, ever, ever be surprised if the narcissist is still with the next person or some person down the road. Never be surprised if it lasted 2, 3, 5, 10 years, because they'll do anything to stay in a relationship and convince other people that it was their fault. And that does not mean the relationship is worth a plug nickel. It's not. Anyone who stays with a narcissist for any length of time, much less years or decades, it only means they don't have boundaries and self-confidence, and they're getting abused and they're living a life of hell. That's all that it means. The person they're with is living in misery, and the narcissist is living in misery, but doing everything they can to convince themselves and you and the world that they're not. Feels like a really good place to end it. So I hope you got something out of this, guys. I appreciate all of you. Awesome comments on the last video. It's just, it's so enjoyable to hear from you guys. So anyway, thanks for everything, and I'll continue to put them out. Come out with another one in a few days. Until then, God bless.